Hi, I'm live. Hi, all you lovely creative people. Hi, June from Open Witch Lane Designs. I see Martha's here. Hi, Martha. I should just look straight ahead. I don't know where to look. I'm sorry. I'm eating. It's been a crazy thing. I was going to go live tomorrow, but Ara from Bentley House Minis was going live. I got a notification that she was going live at the exact same time I wanted to, so I moved it up to today. How are you all? How you doing, Martha? And I know there's maybe one or two other people. Come on in, say hi. I'm going to put up my YouTube chat. I'm going to have to put it up again. So my daughter and I were we were out doing one of our fun little errands, and those kind of errands are not like just going food shopping. We're going to a few stores, and we stopped off at Michael's because I had gotten a gift card from one of the students at the end of the year, and it was a very nice gift card. And I couldn't figure out how much money was on the gift card because, of course, I try to do it myself, and I should have just asked my daughter for help. So we went to, hey Tracy, how are you, sweetie? Hi. So we went to Michael's, and it was the most wonderful thing because I didn't want to, hey Martha, how are you, sweetie? It was the most wonderful thing because they started to get in the fall foliage, if I'm saying it right, or fall, I don't know which how to say it, the fall leaves and the fall flowers. And I just felt, oh my goodness, Halloween is coming. So this is good. Fall is coming. So I'm sorry, I'm still eating. So I decided that I haven't been live in I don't know how long. So I made this Ravenclaw candle holder. I had been mentioning that I was going to try to do it. I did accomplish it. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to be getting texts from people because my daughter's out on the road and shopping for me. And lots of things are happening all at once as usual. Not that she wants to, no, I don't want the smoky. No, not smoky. Okay. She's really a good shopper because at least she asks me. My son just goes, and when he shops, he just buys 4 of everything. It's amazing what he can do. But okay, hey Krista, you got here. Hi, sweetie. Hope you're feeling okay. Much better. I know that last we spoke, you were going to maybe go get some more tests or something just to see if everything was okay. Okay, we're going to have to turn. Okay, then don't get anything. Sorry, guys. Alrighty, and that should take care of that. Okay, so I am going to make, with my cheese, I am going to make a raven's claw. Oh, I can't move that one. All right, it's a raven's claw, or what looks like a raven's claw, little candle holder for an individual small candle. I was burning this one, trying to get pictures of it. I used some ribbon, which is right over here, and of course some boa feathers up there, and I'll show you all how to do that. And it really is sort of an easy project. So why don't I flip the camera around, and I can eat, and I can start showing you how to do this. Okay, flipping camera. 1 second while we remember how to flip cameras. Okay, good. There we are. Let's move it down. Let's get the phone out of the way. Okay, so to make this project, you're going to need some wire, some polymer clay, and these things. Now, what these are, how I found them is, I believe they're called Hanukkah, I think, not Hanukkah, whatever, I'm sorry, menorah candle holders. It's not Hanukkah, it's Passover. It's something. It's menorah candle holders. And I got them on Amazon. Yes, June, I feel brilliant as in all the depression has gone. Thank goodness, Krista. That is good news. That is good. And so now you can start working, hopefully getting yourself organized so you can go back to crafting if your hands are feeling up to it. That would be really good. Okay, so these are the small candle holders, Majestic Giftware. There was 8 of them. And that is one of the supplies. The other supplies you're going to need is some wire. And this was, I think, 1.9 millimeter. I don't know. This, I don't really know off the top of my head. I can definitely, when I have time to research it, I'm going to, if anybody, you know, just let everybody know. Because I think this is 20, what is this? Oh, this is 9.1 millimeter. Really? All right, I have to get the correct sizes of this wire for you people. But you just take a piece, and I have the prototype here, so I'm going to be measuring against this. And let's see. There's always a little extra that I cut on wire. Wire is not one of my favorite things to work with. Oh, you can see my snack on the side. You need 2 pieces of this wire. And I try to make it the same size because one of these wires is going to be the back claw and one of them is going to be the middle claw. My cheese. It's been one of these days, guys, running around trying to get things done. But I'm getting things done, so that's good. You don't have to be that exact with this because I'm probably going to cut some off. The only thing is I don't want to be short of wire. I don't mind being long and cutting some back. I just don't want to be short of wire. Then you take, and this is, I believe this is brass wire, and it's a little bit, it's not as stiff, and it is thinner than this wire. All you do is you wrap it. Hey, Joanne, how are you, sweetie? You made it. I'm glad you made it. Okay, so I'm wrapping it. This is going to be one of the side toes. And then this is going to be the other side toe. And I try to wrap it, not the same, going the same way. Just, I don't know why, I just think it's more secure if you're wrapping it like the wires are crossing. Okay, so now you have 2 thicker wires and they're being held together by 2 thinner thickness gauges, are called wires. And you, okay, oops, I'm getting messages all over the place. Hold on. Oh, I'm even getting texted. This is going to be a day. Sorry, guys. Okay, good. All righty. So I think that's about it, but I'll give myself a little bit more so that I can chop it off if I have to. One of these wires goes towards the back and the other 3 go towards the front. So how are you ladies been doing? Eating, crafting. Frito-Lays, two cheese sticks and Frito-Lays. Let me tell you, very healthy food I'm eating right now. Okay. Now these are a little tipsy, so you have to be careful. It's not something you could at all leave unattended, especially with the, you're pulling weeds, Joanne. I am so sick of gardening. Oh, hey, Shirley, how are you? Hi, Shirley. Glad you made it. I am so sick of pulling weeds. Oh, I got to tell you all my stories. I got a few stories about what's going on in my yard. I don't know if I even mentioned it to everybody. Okay. So you set it up so that it sort of stands. if you can get it to sort of stand. But don't worry, because you're going to be sculpting on it. And the other thing is, I like to put the bend. I want the, okay, as far as this is concerned, you're moving this like back, and then you're bending it at a certain spot. Hold on, just want to try to get it, where this goes front and it'll go straight up. Okay, so even though you bent this back, you're moving this part up so that the weight of the candle, if I would draw a straight line from the candle cup down, meets the center of this. That's how you get it to stand, how you get it to balance itself out. Now I just want to make sure, because this bend where it is very important. Okay. Now, all right. Good. Okay, we got far. Now I'm going to be cutting these wires down, but just as it is, we got that to at least stand. So I'm not one of the best people with wires. I find that they never seem to go where I want them to go. But alrighty. Now I know I have extra over here, and I have one right here that I started working on, because the next step, and I know that these are too long, that's fine. The next step, and this is why I did this ahead of time, is I like to, okay, let's talk about some basics. When you're putting polymer clay, I know that there's a lot of people like Ace of Clay. He doesn't really do anything to his wires when he's putting clay on his wire without prepping his wire. When I first started to learn about putting polymer clay, especially on wire, they usually said to put glue on the wires or masking tape. I've heard of just using Aleene's glue, you know, PVA glue, or masking tape around the wire. I didn't want to put masking tape around this because I didn't want to add any thickness to the feet that I didn't have to. And the tacky glue was fine, but I found that it didn't work as well. So I came up with the idea of just putting thread around it. That'll give to me, that will give the clay more of a surface to grab onto. So what I do is I just take my tacky glue, put it on all the wires, like that. I mean, you don't have to be perfect about this. This is not something that you have to like even brush out with your hands. You're just giving the clay, for me anyway, this is how I feel. You're just giving the clay something to grip. And I should have put it up more. Hold on. And then I just once you got enough glue on that, you just start wrapping your thread around. And then you, of course, get involved with the feet and get caught into the little feeties. But and then you wrap it around this. And like I said, this part of it doesn't have to be neat. This is just something for underneath that I do. Most people, Ace of Clay, if you watch him, he doesn't do this. I just like that it seems to hold the clay on the wire more. Then when I wrapped that, I wrapped it all the way to the end and I came back down. And if the tip is missing it, that's okay. I might be cutting off that tip a little bit. And then I just go around to the other feeties in the front. Oh, so I wanted to tell you while I'm wrapping, um, I have a currant bush, red currant bush in my backyard. I had two, but because I wanted a I forgot what it's called, a dark currants. I don't even remember. Black currants. I wanted to put one of them in. I took one of them out because I don't really have a lot of space left. So I took the one of the currant bushes out and I put the dark currant in, or the black currant, and of course the black currant didn't survive because then, like an idiot, I planted a tree in front of that, so it wasn't getting any light. And currants do need light. So okay, I have one red currant bush. The black currant bush is dead, but the tree is doing well. So my daughter, nothing like my daughter and I decided, well, I wanted to start making jelly because I also have a bunch of blackberry plants, which is another topic of conversation. So my daughter and I went out, and between picking them, cleaning them, because you want to clean them off. She was very meticulous. I'm not so meticulous. When I was picking them off, I was getting leaves in it and everything else, because I know one of the first steps of making jelly, not necessarily the leaves, but they said I could leave the stems on it because it's really hard to pick currants because there's a whole bunch of them on a stem, but she wanted to destem them. The first part of making jelly is you put everything, and I don't know if you people make jelly. I'm sorry if you do. But you stick them all in a pot and you heat them up so that you are making them softer. And then, and then you mash them as you're doing this. And then with a little bit of water, anyway, at least for currants. And then you put them through a jelly bag because you don't want the seeds or the stems in your jelly. And that gives you the clearest jelly, because currants have a ton of seeds and you really don't want that. So we did that, and then I made the jelly, and it came up that at the end of all of this, I got 2 jars of jelly. And I have to say that between my daughter and I, we worked 6 to 8 hours to get between picking them, cleaning them, cooking them, cleaning the jars. It was 2 jars of jelly. And at first I was going to like, oh, why not? Let's give out, jars of currant jelly. And I'm like, no, because at like $12, if you would say we worked at $12 an hour, each jar of jelly is like about $40. So we just decided that we were going to keep them. But what I wanted to do is maybe have a few more jars of blackberry jelly, because I have quite a few of them. But the problem with the blackberries is that they don't ripen all at the same time. Yeah, canning does take time. It sure did. And I didn't even know if, of the 2 jars, one of them wasn't popping. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I have 2 jars of jelly and one is not going to pop. But so what I did was, after I took it out, it wasn't popping. The first one popped like even before I took it out of the water bath. So I was really concerned about this because I said, you know what? I only have 2 stinking jars. I mean, okay, we'll open the one that didn't pop. But I just tightened the lid a little bit because they say to only finger tight it. And I guess maybe I didn't finger tight it enough. And I'm like, okay, if it doesn't pop, that's the one we're going to use first. But it doesn't last as long because it's just really, it's not been sterilized if it doesn't pop. But then like a half an hour, 45 minutes later, all of a sudden I hear pop. And I'm like, oh, wow. They both pop. So, yeah, 8 hours of work, 2 jellies. Well, we call it jam when we leave the seeds in it, Krista. When you leave the seeds and stuff, we call it jam here. But when you take the seeds out and it's just the juice, that's when we call it jelly. So that's the difference that we have over here. Okay, so now I'm just going to leave this to dry, but you saw how I did it. It wasn't hard. I was just wrapping string. You could wrap string any which way you want. You'll see that I didn't wrap down here you know, so well, it's okay. This is not something that anybody else is going to see because you're going to be covering it with clay. And I did one ahead of time because I didn't want to sit here and wait. So my blackberry bushes, I have a lot of fruit on it, but for some reason the fruit seems really small, but it's all ripening at the same time. Now I've made the mistake in the past that I've let it go and try to wait for it all to ripen at the same time. You know, I pick it all at one time, but that doesn't work. So now what I've decided was every day I go outside and I pick the ones that are ripe. And the only way to save them, because it's not like a whole bunch that are ripening at one time, it's just maybe 5 berries here, 6 berries there, is that I just wash them off when I get in the house and I shove them in the freezer. So when it comes time to make blackberry jam, I'm going to make blackberry jam with all the ones that are in the freezer, so I can wait it out because they're not ripening all at one time. And there's no way I'm going to make, you know, what could I do with 5 blackberries? It's not going to work. Okay, so, and then the weeding, it's an ongoing problem because I decided I'm not going to get mulch this year, and I don't like to use not insect, whatever you call that stuff, weed killer. But I use the okay, think of what you're saying before you say it, and it'll help. The vinegar, the Epsom salt, and the Dawn dishwashing liquid. I have one of those sprayers that I put that in. So I've been using that, but you have to be very careful where you spray it because it'll kill anything it goes on. But it is not harmful. I mean, it's not harmful to the earth. It's just vinegar and salt, basically, Epsom salt and some dishwashing liquid. Yeah, I'm hoping to get some kind of blackberry jelly. I really am. I'm hoping because that's why every morning, that's one of the first things I do. I got very involved with, I've been making my own bread again, and I'm getting very involved in it because I've been reading about einkorn wheatberry. Well, no, not really wheatberry. Well, it is a form of wheat, but it's one of the wheat that has not been modified. So I made a sourdough starter with the einkorn, and I'm getting used to baking with it. So I made that. I'm making that, and I make bread almost every week now, most of the time with yeast. But I'm trying to get used to the sourdough and how to do it, especially with einkorn, because even though einkorn has a lot of protein, it doesn't have a lot of gluten, and gluten is the thing, or it doesn't have strong gluten. So gluten is the thing that helps your bread rise. So you have to use different techniques with it. So I'm learning how to do that. But I'm also making yeast bread on the side, and I have to make more of that tomorrow. And then I have this new place. Just because I'm into making a lot. I always used to like making my own food, like the kids. Why is this crooked? Okay. When the kids were little, I would make their baby food. You know, it's not hard to make it. You boil up some carrots and you put them through a grinder, and there you have baby food, or apples and applesauce and stuff like that. But this lady called Mary's Nest, and she seems to be a wonderful lady. She was a New Yorker, and she now moved to the hill country in Texas, wherever the hill country in Texas is. I wish Telly was here, we'd ask her. She makes all of these stuff by herself. You know, not by herself. Of course, you make stuff by yourself using natural ingredients, and she's making apple cider vinegar. So I started making my own apple cider vinegar, and it takes. Hey, Christine, how are you, sweetie? Morning. Good morning. It's 2:00 in the afternoon. What are you talking about, morning? So she makes apple cider. So I'm in the process of making apple cider vinegar. That takes a month. It's not hard to do, but it just takes a long time. The only thing you have to do is after you cut up the apples, put them with water and some sugars, you just have to stir it every day. So that's nothing. And then I also make my own yogurt. So I'm trying to make a lot of my own food if I can. We'll see. Some things that I can make, you know, like I can make bread. I know I've made butter in the past. That's easy. I'm going to try to make the apple cider. My daughter said, so why don't you start making olive oil? I said, Megan, because I don't have access to olives. Where do you think you know, we need olive trees. You know what? I think the StreamYard chat is faster. So I'm going to X out of the YouTube chat. I don't know if I can see it as well, though. All right, whatever. So that's what we're up to. So here's one that I made, and I put the string around it, and the glue is dried. I might have to cut this down a little bit, but this is ready to have the clay on it. Now, I'm using CosClay, and this is a polymer clay that is flexible after you bake it, which is wonderful, because on things like this, you want your clay to be a little flexible, because polymer clay can be not as flexible, so it's more prone to, if you drop it, it'll break. So now, I was talking, I don't know, I think it was on Martha's that, or someone, that I didn't soften or knead the clay enough. So on my little mouse, one of his little arms broke, and I glued it, because you can glue it with CA glue, but then it broke again. So I said, road chips are June for handmade bread and hey, what about the butter? I can even make you fresh butter. I have done that. That's the easiest thing in the world to do if you have a stand mixer. If you want to come, you're all welcome. You really are. The homemade, one of the breads I make, I'm going off. I know I'm squirreling, but one of the breads I make is so, I don't know if you guys like French toast, but oh my goodness gracious, is that delicious with some French toast. When you make French toast out of it, because I put a little cinnamon in the bread before I bake it, and it's made with oatmeal, the round, the flat, old-fashioned oats. Oh, and you know, of course, wheat. It's absolutely delicious. Then you get some nice maple syrup and put it on your French toast. I don't know if you like maple syrup on your French toast, but I love a little maple syrup. Okay, so I showed you the CosClay, and that's flexible. And I put this through my pasta machine quite a few times. The thing is, if you don't have a pasta machine, you can knead the polymer clay. So if you were a beginner and wanted to start working with polymer clay, you can knead it enough, but you can't. It'll be really hard to get these flatter sheets. Shirley, they won't forget you. So how many people are coming? Do you have a big, who's driving? Martha, do you have a big enough car? So far, we have about 4 people coming on over. And Krista, I'm sorry, but you're across the pond, as they say. Otherwise, I would love for you to come too. Okay, so there is no right. June has some pasta, so we can have spaghetti for. Yeah, I have 2 kinds of pasta machines. I have one for polymer clay and one for making pasta, because you can't use them interchangeably. So yeah, we can have fresh pasta, and I have basil growing in my yard. So I don't know how everybody feels about pesto, but I can make fresh pesto the way my mom used to make it. And I got to tell you, if you like cream cheese, that's a delicious meal. Fresh pasta with pesto. My mom made it with cream cheese. You have a roomy car? Okay, excellent. Basil, garlic, pine nuts, and a little oil and some cream cheese. Oh my goodness. And then good grated Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. Ladies, you're in for a treat. And then, if you're really nice and good, I can make homemade ice cream too, if we're really going to get into the menu. Has to drive right past me. Yeah, we can have fun eating here if you like to eat. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways to do this. I don't I mean, I've made a few of these, a couple of other ones of this. I'm just taking the clay, and what I'm trying to do is I just ripped off a line of it. I'm just trying to, Krista, if you come, you're definitely coming to my house, lady. If you come to New York, I'm about, what am I? The city. And if you fly into JFK, I think you would have to fly into JFK. I'm about 45 minutes away from JFK. So, all right. So, like I was saying with this, there's no rhyme or reason. I mean, I'm not that exact as other people. I'm trying to look for my sculpting thing. I'm going to need this. Well, I'm getting out the heavy tools, guys. I don't know where my sculpting thing went. Oh, there it is. And you're just trying to get a layer of the clay over the wires. We're not sculpting it just yet. We're just trying to get clay on the wires. I haven't really even measured these little feeties yet to see, talons, I should say, to see how, if they're too long. Sometimes I find it easier to look at it with the clay on it, because the clay is really going to give me the size of it. Because the clay extends over the wire and beyond the wire, I know the size by looking at it, but I have to judge that by putting the clay on. Barbara, you made it. Hi, sweetie. There's a road trip to my house. Martha's picking up people. They want to eat my blackberry jelly. We were discussing food. How you feeling, Barbara? How you feeling, Christine? I'm sorry. How is everybody feeling? Is everybody okay? Or I'm having a hurricane. What's her name? Elsa? And something like that. Although it's going to be marked down to a tropical storm. I think it's coming today, they said, at 3 o'clock, which is another good reason not to go on live tomorrow, because I don't know if I'll have electricity. You know how these lovely storms, they say it's tropical. Yes. Okay. Whatever. So I didn't leave this flat. I mean, when I took it out of the pasta machine, it was much thinner. I just folded it because I don't need it to be as thin as I had it out of the pasta machine. I mean, I could have done it that way, but I'm just showing you what I do most of the time. You know, if other people were showing you, they probably would have just had this nice little thin piece and pushed it around, but that's not how I sculpt. So, I mean, not normally anyway. I could sculpt like that, but it's not, to me, it's not how I do it. So why show people? But the thing with this CosClay is you do have to make sure that it's kneaded enough, and it starts to get a little bit more sticky. So, and there's ways to get around that too. One of the reasons, and I think we've all heard it because I know Martha works with Polymer Clay, and if any of you guys, you know this, there's two things about Polymer Clay that I really love, besides being able to do almost anything with it, because you can make almost anything with it, is that if I like, let me show you, which one is it? I can't even tell anymore. Is it this one? Yeah. I did this yesterday and I didn't bake it yet because I just wanted some time to look at it to make sure I liked it. There is no rush to put it into the oven once you're done. You could wait till the next day. And when you wait till the next day, the clay is not as sticky. It gets a little harder because the heat of your hands sort of melts the clay, if anything, a little bit. And the other thing is that once you bake something, you can always rebake it. So it's not like when I finish sculpting here, it's all said and done, I can always add more to it. Um, so that's one of the reasons why you don't have to be perfect the first time around. Like my little mouse, I was telling you, I I'm in the middle of, I had to paint him because I realized I didn't like one of the fur things by his face. It just looked like it looked like he had a scar coming from his nose all the way. So I just filled it in with the little clay and I baked it. But I totally put this arm here, this one. I totally took it off and resculpted it, resculpted the whole arm and put it on, and it's fine. You would never know if I didn't tell you. And the secret to that is liquid polymer clay, which I have here. This happens to be, which one is this? Fimo. I like Fimo's liquid polymer clay, the translucent one. And this, once you bake something and you want to put more fresh clay on it, you just smear just a little bit of this. Less is more. And you put it on there, and it makes the bond between the baked and the fresh, when you bake it again, stronger. So this, so when I was saying about the multiple bakes, what I really like about the multiple bakes is that you don't have to be perfect the first time around. It gives you a lot of leeway. And if you made something that you don't like, then you can cut it out. Like say I like the claws, but I don't like something I did over here and I baked it. You can cut it out and start over again. It's a very forgiving medium. And I really like that because, you know, sometimes you can't, like, I keep forgetting which one was baked and which one wasn't. Like this one was baked, right? Because it's not as well. I don't know if you can tell. This is baked. This one is a little bit more glossy. You can tell with the in between the talons. You can make mistakes and you can redo it, and you don't have to be perfect the first time around or anything else like that. Joanne, I have to come visit. My girls are putting in an above ground pool in my backyard. So this, it's very forgiving, and nothing has to be perfect the first time around. The one thing about the clay that I noticed, because on one of them they cracked up the side, you have to make sure that the seams that you have, like I don't know if you can tell, there's a seam here, right there. You have to make sure those are well blended in. And not that I would care if the seam on the bottom had a problem, I would fix it, but you just have to make sure and take your time that it's well blended in. Hey, Cynthia, how are you? Welcome. So now you just sculpt. It's all covered. Now all the seams aren't taken care of, and that is a phone call. All right, Pacho, sorry, it's one of those scam calls. I can't turn my house phone off because my kids are not home. So I get a lot of scam calls all of a sudden. They're really loving me. Now, let's see. I might have put a little too much clay on the bottom. So just take an X-Acto knife and take some off. One of the things, polymer clay is really sort of relaxing to do, especially if you're not into like sculpting stuff seriously. But you could make, I don't know how to explain that any better, but if you wanted to make a bunch of snowmen, I mean, all it is it's a couple of balls and stuff like that. It really is fun. And if you're worried about how heavy they are, say for Christmas for the tree, you can make aluminum foil balls and then put the clay on top of it, and you can make a whole tree or all sorts of decorations of snowmen. You can even flatten it out and use your cookie cutters to cut out different shapes and then put a little hole. Like say you had this, you can put a little hole in the top to tie your ribbon. But the thing is, when you use your cookie cutters, and you want to use your cookie cutters to bake cookies with, take a piece of plastic wrap and put it over the clay, and then put your cookie cutter on top of it. So the cookie cutter, they say it's non-toxic, but they also say not to use any of the tools that you use for polymer clay for cooking. But you can use your cookie cutters that way, as long as the plastic and the cookie cutter will cut the clay out. It even makes sort of a nicer edge on the top, because as you're pressing the cookie cutter down on the plastic wrap, it gives the top edge where the cuts are like a little bit of a rounded shape. So that even makes it prettier. So you can do that. You could do that for any holiday. Hearts for Valentine's Day, or whatever cookie cutter shapes that they're possibly, and you know that if you go to a store, there's more cookie cutters than anything else shapes. And it's sort of fun to do if you got little ones in the house. I mean, I know that people like to make gingerbread cookies, but you could do this all year round if you had little ones in the house. And it really doesn't take that much. But the thing that I did want to mention is there seems to be a shortage of polymer clay, at least in where I live, and also in businesses. I have Sculpey, the Sculpey store, bookmarked, and I looked, and they don't have a lot of stock. And the person that I normally buy from, I had an order on back order since March. And finally, I just told them to cancel the order. I don't know what's happening. I guess polymer clay is made overseas. And with all of the problems that we've been having with the virus, I think that's the only thing that I can think of, that production of polymer clay stopped. I don't know, but I cannot get Michael's. My Michael's around here doesn't have a thing of polymer. They have their brands, but I'm not buying their brand. And at first I thought they were trying to phase it out, but then now that I'm looking at it with the stores online, I'm beginning to think that there's a shortage. So this is all. I don't have a lot of black clay left, so I'm probably going to have to order more CosClay, because at least they have it. It's more expensive, but at least they have it. So we'll have to see. So I'm just playing around here, trying to make the shape to look more and more. And I know it's black clay. I maybe should have done it on a different color clay. But anytime that I have like a seam, I'm just trying to blend out the seams and just get the actual shape of what I want. I can put more detail on it in a little bit. But okay, so we have it to stand, because I want to start cutting if I have to. Now I'm taking one of these things. Where's my one that I already took out? Okay. And all I'm doing is putting it on the top and just putting it right into the clay. Hey, Ashley, how are you? I'm sorry, I need you. I mean, I didn't see you. Tree shirts are hard to get these days for the supplier. Nails too long to type without my total attention. I said hello. Downton Abbey? Yes, I love Downton Abbey. Okay. So I'm looking at this, and this one is a little bit taller than this one. So all you do, it's not a big deal. If you want them to be the same size, if you don't want them to be the same size, that's fine too. That's not a problem. Is you back out the clay, and you take your big boy pliers or cutters or whatever these things are called, nippers. I'm finding that I'm lisping without my teeth on the side, and just cut them and then try it again. Sorry, lunch. And this will hold this cup. And I'm going to even bake it with the cup on here because, wait, you know, something's wrong here. Something's wrong here, and it's not looking right. Where are those wires? They're too far back. I know that. So let's move the clay up. Sorry, guys, something's wrong with the design, and I don't like how it's looking. So we're just going to fix it. I'm good. I'm good, Ashley. I'm very, I think I'm enjoying my time off. I've been very busy with a lot of food things I was mentioning before that I'm making. It's still a little bit too high, and I don't know. I don't know if it's the weather because I was talking to my friend Teresa today. Oh, cool! I was afraid they weren't going to. It's like I think it's the weather because I've been really anxious recently, and I'm hoping that it's the weather. I don't need to start suffering from panic attacks at this point, but there's been a lot of anxiety, and I really don't know why. I mean, there's things I could be. Oh, Madonna Mia, Kings Park now. They have been driving me crazy with these phone calls. I get like, I don't know, 10 of them a day. I don't know what they're trying to do. So this guy yesterday, you know, Megan and I are talking. We're in the middle of a deep conversation because Megan was discussing some things about this work that she's doing. And all of a sudden, you know, somebody's knocking at the door. And I don't, so I went there and there's this young guy standing there and he doesn't even have a mask on. Now, I'm sorry. I know that the virus, whatever, but and I'm not going to get into the virus, but if you're coming to my door, you know, um, you put a mask on. So that was the first thing that annoyed me, that this young guy is standing at my door, very close to my door, and he didn't have a mask on. And I honestly thought he was Amazon because Megan says, oh, he looks like you got a sign for something. So I thought a package I ordered, I don't know what I ordered, but I figured, okay, I got a sign for something. So I opened the door and he says, hi, you know, I'm so-and-so. Who pays attention to it? So-and-so. I wasn't, you know, I just wanted him to get to the point. Like, do you want me to sign something? Well, he was he says, I'm going to be, he goes, I'm going to be spraying in your neighborhood. I got your neighbors around the block. And he starts naming all these people, Joe, the cop, Billy, the this, that, whatever. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So he said to me, if you want, would you like us to come? Oh, no, something that we're going to spray things and it's going to be killing spiders, mosquitoes, this, that. In other words, like it was only going to kill 5 different bugs. Once he sprays that kind of stuff, it's going to kill all of them. And here I am thinking, oh yeah, if all my neighbors are going to get sprayed, all the bugs are going to come here. So maybe I should get sprayed. And then I said, you know what? What a sales pitch. How do I know that he really has those people? He probably went to the door and he introduced themselves, and now he's knowing that these people, because he stood and talked to them, and some of my neighbors would talk to anybody who comes to their door for a while. Why not? So I just said, he goes, what bugs are you worried about or something? So I said, listen, I really don't, I don't want to have my property sprayed. And he goes, do you mind if I ask why? I said, because I don't want the chemicals. And he looks at me and he goes, well, you know that there's chemicals in food. I was like, oh, you young whippersnapper, wrong thing. So I just looked at him, raised my eyebrows like, are you kidding me? I am not a young spring chicken anymore. So I just said, I'm sorry, I really don't want it. But then then I started to think, and he left and he was cool about it. But then I started to think, number one, he didn't have a mask on. I went out with the mask, just because I wanted to be, but that's a lot of nerve to come to the door. We're not out of this yet. Don't come to my door without wearing a mask, And second thing, is if you don't want to wear a mask, then go step down off my steps. He was like right on my steps. So when I opened my door, he's like right there. And then I don't like, I don't like the tactics, like, because you made me think, okay, all these people are getting sprayed, but so all the bugs are gonna come to me. But then I figure, what the heck? He's going with bugs matter. I'm gonna do mosquitoes. I'm gonna do, hey Megs, I'm glad you're home. I'm gonna do mosquitoes. I'm gonna do crickets. What bugs bother you? What, do I have to make a list of bugs now? I know. I'm not really thrilled about my panic attacks, Ashley. But the way I figure it is if I keep getting them, I'll keep baking. So there'll be plenty of food for when Martha comes and picks up all you ladies on the road trip that you're coming over here. I'll have plenty of food for everybody. All right, so I'm just messing. Okay, as you can see, I'm just messing around with this, trying to get, and sometimes it takes, and I keep cutting, and it doesn't seem to be working, that I'm getting this. Yeah, I don't know if I'm not, what's happening here. It's not even. Okay, one more time for good luck. Okay. It just doesn't seem to be going down enough. And I do want to make them sort of the same size. I'm not going to be playing with the polymer clay much longer because, like I said, I already have one done. That should be enough. I'm only doing little bits because it's at a time. Yeah, I'm hoping it's just this stupid storm that we're having come up, but it's been a lot recently. I think because there's a lot of I also think there's a lot of things unsettled, and I've gotten to the stage, like I said, I don't know if you know, I'm gonna be trying to retire next year from my job. There's a lot of unsettled things. Okay, is this right now? Could this possibly be any? It's still too high. What the, what is going on here? I keep cutting it. It's got to get down. All right, last time, guys. Sorry. You should say bugs like you now. Please go away, Krista. I should have said that. Oh, let's see, Barbara. I have made one completely. I have this one that's I have to finish. I think I'm making 4 or 5. I'm not quite sure. I think I'm going to make 5 of them because I like making odd numbers. So I can put some on my table. Oh, let me tell you how I got this idea. So I'm watching this lady, and this has got to be enough. I'm watching this lady called Christine McConnell. I think I've talked to you about her a lot. She's a favorite YouTube channel of mine. And she moved to New York, upstate New York, and she has this real big old house was built in the early 1910 or even maybe in the 1890s, something like that. And she is remodeling certain rooms, and she redid her dining room. And of course, I mean, she's so talented, dear goodness. She was ripping off the wallpaper that was on the walls, and she saw the wallpaper that was underneath was original to the house. Thank you. Yeah, Joanne, I'm beginning to think so, although I sort of liked it because I last summer, I was very productive and I did a lot of crafting. And besides the worry about food and, just worry, I have to say it was one of my more productive times in crafting. It really felt good because there was, you didn't go out. And if you did go out, you went out for food and you came home. So I don't know. I agree with you on that. I think so. It's not for the social part of it as much because here we are socializing, but I think it was just going back to school and stuff and listening to all the whatever that they were trying. I don't know. All right. Okay, so she redid her living room, dining room. Thank you, Megan. Leave. Oh, you did? Okay. All right. You bought it? Okay. Um, what was I saying? So she redid it, and what she did was for everybody's place setting, she got this cobra, these brass cobra um little candle holders, and you could buy them, and they would each person had that, and then she made place cards that she made herself. But I just thought it was so pretty that there was a candle at each person's place setting. And then I think it was, and then she also, which was really strange, what was I saying? Oh, she redid the wallpaper. I'm sorry. She redid the wallpaper. She hand painted the wallpaper. She stripped off the wallpaper that was there. She found the wallpaper that was underneath. She realized that it was original to the house, what the original owners did. And when she took off whatever was damaged, she repainted the wallpaper, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. And the colors are pink and green. Okay, so I finished that story because I know I'm squirreling a lot. And she set her table up, and she puts artificial flowers, just gorgeous how she did it. It's unfortunately it's on her Patreon account, so it's not a video that I can list for you to go see. But so she had, okay, enough of that. Place settings, candles. And I liked I liked that she had the candles for each person, but I'm not into snakes. And one of the other things she put on her table that Megan and I were shaking our heads like, what the heck, was that she put little pink elephants all over the place. I don't know how she usually is not like a tchotchke type person, but she has pink elephants all over on her table. And I thought that was why maybe she brought in the cobras, because, the cobras and the elephants or whatever. But that's what gave me the idea that I thought having a little candlestick at everybody's place setting would be really cool, but I couldn't figure out what I could do. So then I looked up, I know I like ravens, so I looked it up, and some people, I saw something made on Etsy with a real raven and raven's claw, and I don't want to have anything to do with that. And besides that, it was very expensive. So I said, you know what, I can make them myself. And that's what gave me the idea to do this. Now, this is not really sitting as well as I wanted to, so I'm going to work on it more, but I'm just going to show you some of the sculpting. So this is really easy. I looked on Google, and you can get, if you look up raven's claws or raven's talons, you get pictures. But I didn't follow it that to a T. But basically what I'm doing is you just go like this around the front here. You just take your tool, or you can draw it and just give it. And then what you have to, like, the one that's on top, you just make the, like, little grooves in there. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Hold it this way. I'm just doing grooves. And then, see, I made the groove there. And then this one I'm going to put down. So this one looks like it's over it a little bit. Okay. And then on the back, you give it like a little seam. And then you do. Then basically, I just play. What's this? They didn't have the, oh, okay. Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. Not a problem. It's fine. It's fine. Thank you.
So there's a bite taken out.
There's a what? You took a bite.
Because it's mislabeled.
Oh, okay. Not a problem, Megan. As long you were the one who bit it, right? Oh.
I left more chips.
Okay. My daughter had picked up food for me, and she accidentally took. She just wrote me a note on a napkin. I mean, can I show it? So I'm trying to read this. They didn't label the burritos. They took a bite out of yours thinking it was mine, so I left more chips. This is. She went to move. So June, do you have another decorating so we can see how the can? Yep. Do you have black plates? No, I don't have black plates. I have white plates. I have black cauldron plates, little cauldrons, and little pumpkin plates that go underneath the cauldrons. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'll take a picture. I'll definitely take a picture of these at the table. So, okay, let me get back to what I was doing. All right, so basically you're just sort of sculpting and messing around. Like for the you're just, to me, I'm not going to make it look exactly. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but it's not, I really don't have to be that exact with it. What I find important is that you have some kind of claws there, the claws, and the back one. That relationship is very important. But just to show you, you make like the knuckle and you're pushing clay around. That's all I'm doing is pushing clay around. And for the claw, I want that, so I'm pulling it and then trying to get it to a point, and take the glasses off so I can see what I'm doing. And then I just go around with my tool to differentiate between the claw, the nail part of the claw, and the rest of the toe. Okay, got it. And then you're just putting like little, uh, what would you call this? Divots, lines in the clay for that. And then the same thing, is this the one that's baked? The same thing up on top. Once you get where you want your knuckle to be, you just put like lines and you just sort of play. That's all. I don't know how else to describe it, but that I play with this. And then to get this part of the talon, you take some clay and you roll it out. And you wrap it around. You wrap it around. Break it off, or rip it off rather. And then the back part of it, the part that's not towards the nail, the one that's towards the back, you just take it and very gently I'm taking a little bit of clay with this and just moving it back. So you get the talon part looking like it's coming out. Let me see what else I did. There's a little too much clay on here for me. Take some off, put some on. And the weirder they look, the better. Because again, I'm giving the impression of it. I am not trying to copy it exactly. Because if I was trying to copy it exactly, I'd have a picture of a raven's claw in front of me. But I'm just trying to give the feeling of it. And since it's black, most people would think it's a raven's claw. Oh, Mary? Aw. Mary, I don't know if she comes to a lot of the lives, or maybe she's here and she just doesn't comment. which is fine, but she's a wonderful lady. She she does a lot of, she works with a lot of Tim Holtz products, and she made that thing that was a couple of things. One was an egg, I believe, that she Mod Podged a pictures on, and a zipper that I thought was fabulous. Fabulous. I love that. And she also very steampunky. And she also made the horses' heads, the paper mache horses' heads that she added the moles to it. Gorgeous stuff. I remember that. It was beautiful, beautiful stuff. I'm glad that she told you that, Krista. I'm glad Mary told you that. She's on Facebook, so and I have her as a friend on Facebook, so shabby chic stuff. I'm sure she probably did, Krista, but shabby chic isn't like, I mean, I like it. I'm not going to say I dislike it, but I like since the uh now I can't steampunk, although I don't do a lot of steampunk, and that other thing with the horse's head just was flabbergastingly. I loved it so much. It was really that those are the things I remember the most that she did. She hasn't been showing a lot of work that she's been doing recently. I hope she hasn't stopped. But she does post on Facebook. So I've been keeping it, like sort of in touch with her on Facebook. So what this is just a matter of taking clay off and putting clay on until I am satisfied with the way this looks. And if I put this in the oven and it doesn't come out the right way, or something is bothering me, or I didn't do it exactly, I can always either add more clay or take more clay off. Now, I'm not going to sit here and fumfer with this for a while, because basically I don't think you can even see me sculpting it, because unfortunately it's black on black. But I'm going to let this one sit with the other one, and I'll look at them a little bit later and see if there's any adjustments I want to do. But this one was baked, so I'm going to work with this one right now. And I hope I still have my ribbon here somewhere. Okay. All right. Let's get this out. So one of the first things I did, and I have to thank Miss Joanne for sending this to me, is I wanted this to be really black. The clay, when the clay bakes, it's black, but it's sort of like almost grayish. And you'll see the difference when I put the paint on it. So, like I said, pretend that I finished these. I baked them in the oven. Oh, CosClay, I think is 275 for 20 minutes. So what I usually do is, because I usually it always seems like I'll bake it and then I'll see something else I wanted to do with it. So I always seem to bake them twice. So the first time I usually only bake it for about 15 minutes. Then when I fix it the way I want it, little pieces, add little pieces here, take off little pieces there. Then the second time I put it in, I'll put it in for 25 minutes or even a half an hour, just to make sure it's really baked. And then I take it out of the oven and let it cool. Okay. Now, let's see. Am I missing anything? Yes, the horse was brilliant in the egg I started doing. I asked her if she didn't mind if I did, but when I got poorly, I've never finished it. Okay, Krista, but you're coming out of feeling poorly now, so maybe you can go back to working on it. Did I miss anybody's comments? I'm just going to take a break, get a piece of gum, and make sure that I haven't missed anything. Yes, we have a really good community. A really nice community of ladies. See how the candle still looks. Do you have black paints? Yeah. Okay, I think I got everybody. I think I spoke to everybody. Okay, so I wanted this to be just a little bit more blacker, and I'm going to be putting. And where did I bring them over? Oh, I didn't. I'm going to be putting the waxes on here just to bring out the sculpting a little bit, if you can see it. I used the Bronze Age wax, I think. Okay, but I wanted it to start off being really dark. And I had forgotten that Miss Joanne had got this for me, the lovely lady. But so I used this because I only have, the only other black paint I have, I am bead embroidering and just had to take out about a half an hour. Oh, Martha, isn't that horrible? Don't you hate that? Okay, so this is Ranger Distress Paint Black Soot. Love this stuff. Just started to use it. Love it. This is black and shiny. What I was talking about, my gesso is a matte black, and this one is shiny, and I like that. Whoa. And of course, if I ever learned how to paint properly. Oh, you're not into beading anymore? Yeah, we go through phases, don't we? But see how shiny it makes it? But now the next step, you're going to think I'm absolutely crazy, but we're just going to. I loved how shiny it made this whole thing. But I just wanted to dull it down a little bit. So I love this paint. And I don't think Martha's ever shown any of her bead embroidery. We've seen her beads. I don't know if I've ever seen her embroidery. Okay, so I put this all over the place. Now, the only part that I wanted really this high gloss, although I love the color of this. Hold on, did I finish painting so I can show you? You see, oh, you can't see the difference, I don't think. This, well, this is not, this hasn't been baked yet, but this looks so much blacker to me, and I love the color of that black. I mean, it's a true official dark, you know, black. This looks black, but it sort of has a faded black to it. Now, one of the things with this is it's got a high gloss to it, which I don't necessarily want the high gloss except for the nails. So by just patting it before it dries, because this thing dries pretty fast too, you take off the top gloss of it. Well, it didn't dry yet. And this is yesterday, I had this all over my hands. Between this and the CosClay, the black was all over. And then I went out gardening. And I don't wear gloves when I garden because I can't get the weeds out good enough to pull the weeds, because if you just rip off the top of the weed, you didn't really do anything. Okay, so I just pat it a little bit just to take the top gloss over it, but it's still, and I know that you can't see it, and I'm sorry about that, but it does make it a different tone of black. This makes it a richer, darker tone of black, and I like that. Okay, so while that's drying, yesterday, I mean, yes, this is neat compared to what I looked like yesterday. I just have to go and get my waxes. So give me a second. It's on the drawer over there because it had to be something I didn't remember to bring over. Okay. Oh, you bead embroidery. Oh, okay. You know what, Martha? Now I think I know what you're talking about. Yes, because I was thinking it. Okay. Totally different thought in my head. What I was thinking was, you know how, oh, look at my fingers. It's so much fun. Okay. Um, I know you bead embroidery now. Well, you're calling, my thought in my mind was, you know, like the embroidery hoop where you're embroidering with thread and then you add beads to it. For some reason, when you said bead embroidery, I thought that's what you were talking about. Why? I don't know. But yes, I've seen your bead embroidery and it is beautiful. How you can figure out how to get those colors and everything at one time is beyond me. But you're used to doing it, so but it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous work. Barbara, you still here? I haven't seen you, Barbara. You still here? Okay. Just got to let this dry for a little bit. And I am back to where I was. Okay. When you paint, the CosClay was really behaving today because recently that was turning my hands black. Then painting turned my hands black, and then the gardening I was getting it. That's why I've been trying to keep my nails really very, very short because once that gets in, you can't get that out, and it's painful trying to get the black out from underneath your nails. Yucky, yucky, yucky. So I'm trying to keep them really short. But yesterday it was like I couldn't get my hands clean. And I was like, okay, whatever. So I wanted to add, and can you see this? I wanted to add a little something different from the elbow up. Okay. All right, Barbara, just checking. Just checking, sweetie. Wanted to make sure you were still here. So I gotta wait for this to dry. I should have made another one. So what are you making, Martha? You've made earrings like a bead embroidery too, right? I think you made earrings. And Joanne, what are you up to? Oh, while I'm waiting, I can show you because I have to wait for this to dry a little bit more so I can do work on it. I showed you the mouse that I just have to finish painting, and I want to work a little bit more around the eyes, and then I'm going to put little whiskers coming out. And then, I don't know if I told you guys about this. If I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. I think I'm suffering from a little, oh, I need this glow. Suffering from a little bit of dementia recently. I hope it doesn't continue. I wanted tulle to go around the crib, but I'm working on a pumpkin. You're making a black pumpkin. Joanne, you have to show me that one. I'm pointing, I'm pointing the fabric tack at you. I want to see a picture. Okay, I want to. You're making a black one. I want to, and I have some other ideas on how to do stuff. So I'm going to let you know about that too. But first, I got to see if it works. But I want to see that, please. Okay. Don't try to hide that one. Don't try to go through. And then I got to go look at your Etsy shop to see it, you know, because then if I have to go to your Etsy shop, I'm going to take a screenshot and I'm going to put it on Facebook. There. I'm threatening you with dire consequences. Okay. So Your version of black. What's your version of black? This is going to be fun. Okay. Well, what is your version of black? Is it black or is it black with another color? Black and purple would be really pretty, like that purple one you made last year. Okay, you got to keep typing. So the tool, I don't know if again, black. The tool was just too stiff, and I'm like, I don't know where to find gauzy material to make this is like as soft as I want it to. And I wish you could see it. I'll just have to take a picture of it, maybe there. It's hard with the black on black to see because this on my screen just looks like you can't see the wrinkles. Is there somewhere else wait, if I put it over here, would it work? Oh, that's not going to help. That'll give you a sketch of see. There it goes. Here we go. Okay, so what I figured out finally what to use, oh, please don't come off, is stockings. So I went out and bought a pair of black stockings and I used fabric glue and that's how I draped them. Then I made these little tassels. You can't see anything because it's black on black, but I'll take pictures and put it on Facebook. My pictures will be clearer. I made little tassels for the tie backs and I made the little crown over here and little strings coming from the crown going to the top. So this is done. Okay, and pictures will come soon. Where'd the baby go? Pictures will come soon so that you could really see the details. What is your version of black, Joanne? Did you say you have a picture? Send it to me and I'll show everybody. Thank you, Shirley. Okay, this is still wet. Maybe not because it's so shiny. Maybe it's not. No, maybe it's not wet. All right. All right. So I still have some of these waxes. I've seen that I think we've discussed it that they're coming in tubes now. Ugh. Okay. Okay, Joanne. Hoping this weekend. Okay. How can I tell? I got so much paint. I need a piece of my hand. That isn't okay. Well, okay. What I do then is once this paint really dries, to bring out the texture, I just put it on my finger and gently rub it all over everything but the nails. So you can see it coming out more like that. So you can see the texture, which again is not great from my vantage point on my screen. It's not looking good. Hopefully you can see the details a little bit more on your screen. If you have a better screen or something like that. And the shininess of the paint, it just makes it look richer because even though I'm pretty much covering it up, it's still in the crevices and all the cracks. So it just makes it look richer and darker, which is what you want. And then, I mean, you can play with that all you want. You can continue adding on. If you add too much, you can either try to wipe it off or paint over it. You all know how to use the waxes. Then I had this ribbon, and I don't know if you can see it. I've used it before. It has beads in it. And I originally tried to use all feathers, but it just wasn't working. It just did not look right for me. So I took some of this. Now I don't have a lot left of this, so for the other ones that I make, I'm just going to have to use different ribbons. So it doesn't matter to me if some of them have one type of ribbon or another. That just makes them look a little bit more unique. And I want to see, what is this? Is this yucky? Is this paint or yucky stuff? All right. Oh, okay, that looks like it's a part of the ribbon that's coming through. So And where did I start on this one? Right by there. Okay. So I take my fabric tack. Mom, did he come to level the ground yet? Barbara, did he come to level the ground yet for the pool? Ashley wants to know. Again, now I got to wait for this to dry a little bit because it's always better to use fabric tack when it gets a little bit tacky, especially this is a new one. So there's a lot of acetone in it. So let's see. Hey, Vic, how are you? The different ribbon doesn't matter. Christine said there were two different birds. What? What? They're from two different birds. What's from two different birds? Christine? Oh, okay. The feet are from two different birds. I got it. So it doesn't matter. They could be from all different birds. That's right. Christine, you are very smart. I got it. And Ashley, he hasn't come yet. And Victoria, how are you, sweetie? So now I have to wait for this to dry. Hey Vic, I've been looking at your pictures. You're really up in your game, lady. I am very impressed with the pictures you're putting on Facebook. You're upping the game quite a bit. So you wait for fabric tack to get just a little bit tacky. It works better. I'm starting with the seam at the back. Cook. Here we go. All right. And then I'm offsetting it as I come around. How many layers did I do on this one? 1, 2, 3. I did 4. Okay. 1. That was 2. Black ostrich feet. Yes. 2, 3. And then that's 3. And I want to come around again. Where's the fabric tack? All right, this I can't. You know what? The glasses, the fabric tack, I can't see. Do I go around again? Yes, I do. I want to end up there though, so I don't know. This thing go down enough? Hold on. Rethinking. Getting glue all over everything, including my fingers. I want it to go down a little bit more. Come off for a second. See, when it gets tacky, it really isn't that easy to pull off. Go down a little bit more. Coming around. Yeah, I want it down a little bit more. Come around. And if any glue gets on this fabric from the fabric tack, and then this is the last time around. Okay, there we go. I'll just take it off with the Q-tip, dipped in acetone. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, and then wait for this to dry a little bit. I put a pick in. Okay, hold on. Okay, get that down. And this was wonderful because I couldn't figure out what to do with the rest of this ribbon that I had, being, you know, the beaded ribbon. So being able to do this with it was a lot of fun because at least I'm getting rid of it. And you know how much I like using my supplies up. Okay. All right, there goes. Whoa, messages. Okay, we got that. Martha, I don't see it. Is that in your kittens group? Fits in. Wait, 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 wait. Oh, no, no, I got it. Look at this, guys. What? Oh, if I turn, it's a bear. A bear. Wow, look at this. Oh, it's beautiful, Martha. Now I can look at it myself. Gorgeous. Very pretty. I love the colors. I love the browns and blacks. Very pretty. I got it. Good. All right. Okay. So now that that was beautiful, Martha. That's when you said, I think you said you made that. Hold on. That was when you made, what? That was when you made for you. No, I don't know. I don't. Okay. Having a little trouble with my Facebook. No. Okay. You know what? I can do it this way. I can do it on my computer because my phone is giving me a little bit of a tough time. You said that was one that you made for your dad. Where are you? Where'd you go now? Okay. You know what? You're in a group. Should be over here. All the details. Yeah. This is one made for this is one you made for your dad. It's even pretty on Facebook than it is on my phone. You can really see the colors of the beads. Going back to StreamYard. Okay. All right. So if any of the beads are coming off, I could just clip them or I can glue them down. Again, this is not like one of those things that has to be precision. This bead is a little bit coming off. If you look at all in the details on Facebook, you can see a better shot of it, guys, than what I just showed. Okay. So now you're all sticky. You got your hands are all messy. So we know that we're crafting. I know that we are crafting. Here we go. That looks good. Now, to get the feathers on top, which is more black on black, I'm going to take a feather boa, and this gets messy. Okay, this gets really sort of messy. And there's going to be feathers all around. It's nice, Christine, but like I was saying before, I still haven't figured out how to totally relax yet. I'm still feeling a little bit anxious about things, and I don't know why. But I am enjoying, okay, let's be grateful for what I have because I really have been enjoying that I can get up. I can, take a little while, have my cup of coffee, read stuff on my phone or read my new recipes. Okay, Martha's making a pendant set. I'm sorry. I know I'm squirreling around, but I don't want to miss any of the chat. You're using Rivoli. It's very pretty. Sounds very pretty, Martha. I still haven't, sometimes it takes a week or two. Well, it's going to take 2 now to really just relax, but I'm loving being on vacation because every day almost every day, I get to do some things that I really enjoy. And I'm getting a little lazy, but I've been loving reading up on baking bread with different kinds of flour. I don't know if you hear when I was talking about that I watched this lady on YouTube. It's called Mary's Nest. And I have this apple cider vinegar that I've been starting. My daughter and I have made jelly. Well, we made 2 jars of jelly. We're hoping we're going to get more out of the blackberry jelly. So I'm really doing things that I'm trying to do things that make my soul feel good. If that I really enjoy it, and it's sort of fulfilling to me. But I think the storm, I think, Ashley's right. The storm that's coming, I don't know if it's the pressure, it's making me a little anxious. I think maybe also because my son is probably going to be driving through it. And, you know, you know how much I love driving. Okay, so I just put some more of this fabric tack all around the top. This can get a little messy. So I'm trying to hold it down, and I'm pulling tightly to hold this down. And I'm not going to cut it just yet. I'm not cutting it just yet. Fabric tack takes a while to grab, and then sometimes you're just going to have to re-glue, especially with this. Okay, and I'm trying to feel in a feather boa. If you really feel into it, you'll know that there's the cord, the thing that connects it all. So I'm trying to just cut the cord. Of course, you're going to get feathers in there, but you're just trying to cut the cord, because the more feathers you get, if I had a scissor that worked, it would really be a good thing. Okay, so you're just going to get feathers all over the place. I'm just trying to hold it. And I put them away like an idiot, but I have those little clothespins. Now I'm going to just leave all of this stuff that's flying around here for a second, because if any part looks bald, I can add glue to that and put it on there. And sometimes what happens is it didn't catch this part. It didn't catch the string because there's so many feathers on it that it didn't get through to catch the string. And if you don't catch the string, it's not going to stay. So you just add glue there, put glue there, hold it some more. Okay. Oh, hi, Mary. How are you? We were just talking about you. Krista was just talking about how you introduced her to our group, and we were all missing you. I'm so glad you made it. Hi, Mary. Just please don't get no homemade jelly. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, sweetie. Oh, don't get any feathers in a homemade jelly, please. No, the jelly isn't done yet. Not the blackberry anyway, because I'm still picking them. But every day I get 6 berries. It's going to take me a while. Be careful, it'll blow up your nose. Yeah. I was wondering why I was sneezing the other day. Like, oh, that's why, because I got feathers up my nose. Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you guys. Between you and Ashley, you're really helping me out, because Ashley's right about the storm and you're right about why I was sneezing like a fiend the other day. Okay. So this thing looks like a crazy mess. Okay. This one has a little bit more direction. And how I did that, and again, this is yeah, we were talking, okay, I keep squirreling, I have to stop. Mary, we were talking about your lovely creations, about your egg and the horses you did with the moles on it. And then Krista was reminding me that you also used to do what is that, shabby chic stuff? But I remembered the egg and that horse with the moles on it because I love them. They were just gorgeous. Okay, this, as I squirrel one more time, is filled with rubbing alcohol. And it doesn't matter. I guess I could use water, but I'm spraying it down because I want the feathers to go down. And I couldn't, just trying to tell them to go down, they don't go down. Now here, the reason why I'm having the problem where this won't go down is because there is the rear, like the center portion, whatever you call that, of the feather sticking out. And you just push it down like this. Now I might have to re-glue this and do this a couple of times. If there's any bald areas, I will try to fix them. But that gets the feathers down and gets them to be like little pointies, which I like better than the fluffy. Oh, you're welcome, sweetie. And there you go. Okay, so now the next thing, oh, one other thing that I did do was I took, and again, you can't see it. I like the nails to be very, very shiny. So I took some polyurethane, varathane or whatever, high gloss, and I went over the nails because I want them to be shiny. I don't know if you can see it on this, but I wanted them to be very shiny as compared to the rest of it. So now I have two of them right here. And once this dries, it'll get a little bit more fluffy like this one. This was just to help it to go down. And then you play. You know, you just, if I need to cut off a feather here, or I need to glue some feathers because there's a bald spot over there, or if the back isn't holding down, like this isn't holding down because I didn't hold it down enough, you just play around with it. But there you go. So now you have little raven foot candles. And these candle cups, where are the candle cups, are really good. Okay, try to do this with okay, because if you look in the candle cups, I'll show you the candles in a second, and I'll show you how I do that to get them to fit in so they don't fall. Okay. And if it doesn't work the first time, guys, just rip it off and do it again. This is, you know, you have a big boa, so it doesn't matter. Okay, there. So you buy the candles. They're called spell candles, but they also could be used for the chimes. Only I don't know if you would want to use, you know, those chimes that my mom had one of these things, and she had the white candles, and I used to love watching it just go around and around and around. But if you're going on Amazon, I just put in chime candles. They call them spell candles, whatever. So this is the size. They have them in all different colors, so you don't have to get black. I have this thing that's called a candle sharpener. So what I do is I put it down, you know, try to get the candle in there as horizontal as possible and just shave some of the bottom off. Without going too much. And then I have this wax, this candle wax, because I want to make sure the candle stays in there. I don't want the candle to topple off. Toe rings. Haven't seen it. They need toe rings. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Okay. Christine, only you. I'm gonna make toe rings. So I put a little of this wax on it. And this is called Stickum. It's called candle adhesion. I've had this for absolute years. And then you just put it in there and, you know, just go like this. I could also light the candle, get some wax down in the bottom and put it like that. But this really holds it in there. And then you just put the candle in and now it's secure and it'll stay in there. Because these are, okay, I had this one going, and I think because I kept cutting the wick, it started to collect some wax in the cup here. And I don't know how much wax is going to overcome if I just let it go and burn instead of constantly putting it on and taking it off and stuff. And I kept cutting the wick down because they always say that you should cut the wick down to about 1/4 of an inch off the top of the candle. So wax may fall on this and it may get on the feathers. That's okay, because I could always take the feathers off and put more feathers on if it really bothers me, or I can take the feathers off entirely and just leave it with the beading on it. But this is something that it's not like really tippy, you know. I mean, it's a little tippy, but you just really can't leave these unattended because you don't want to start a fire with this type of thing if it falls over and stuff. So it does balance out, but it's not something that I would have on a lower area. If there was kids, I would definitely put it higher on a bookshelf or something up that would not tip over. On my table, I don't have children in the house anymore. I'm not as concerned about it. But that's what I'm going to be putting. I have two basically done. I have two more half done, and this one. So I will be making 5 of them. So yeah, that's about it, guys. We are done. I think I've told you everything that I wanted to tell you. Oh, okay. And like I am going to, like, this thing isn't sticking as well, so because I didn't hold it enough, and I need to get the clothespin, the little clothespin that I have. But I will be, you know, messing with it. A lot of times the things that I do, you just mess with a little bit. And that's it. So let me switch you off. 3:17. I started at 1:30. Oh, I'm within 2 hours. Excellent. How do I do that again? Camera, mic, change, and which one am I on? No, I have to go to that one. Right? Nope, wrong one. That's the one I'm on. Whoopsie. Try that one. Okay, good. All right. So that only took, oh, I got feathers all over the place. Okay, so it only took about an hour and a half to 2 hours to get that done, minus, of course, baking time. Thank you, Krista. Minus, of course, some baking time. So I'm going to get a couple more done. I have an idea for my fall giveaway, but I want to make it first and see if it works. I bought this 3M, the Super 3M spray glue. And what I was going to tell Joanne, that's what I was going to tell you. I have, and I don't have it here, and I'm not going to run looking for it, but I have, what do you call that? Stockings? Fishnet stockings. I had bought fishnet stockings for the hot air balloon. Oh boy, the brain is not thinking. The hot air balloon, and I still have some left. So I was thinking, okay, because I wanted to put that on a glass vase or jar. So I'm thinking of getting the fishnet stocking portion of it, cutting it so that it's flat, because I want to work with it flat, and I want to spread it out so that the net is open, and somehow attaching it to a board or something, even if I use tape, just to have it spread out, and then spraying it with that, where is it? It's over there. The 3M spray, the adhesive spray, and if I'm careful enough, because I've never worked with this stuff before, putting that around a jar, so that I've always wanted to put the fishnet on a jar, but I couldn't figure out how to do it, because once you put the fishnet in a glue stiffener or a glue and you put it on the jar, you're going to get the glass all grimy with the glue, and I didn't want the glass grimy with the glue. So I'm thinking if I put that 3M spray stuff, the glue was only going to end up on the fishnet. And if I put a light enough spray, but I got to figure out how to do that. So then I was going to put that around the glass jar, or I ended up having another pumpkin from last year that I could still do something with. So I was thinking maybe I can try using that spray glue. I've never used it before, to see if that works. It's called 77 something, 3M 77. I don't know. So, thank you, Shirley. So that's what I was going to try to do. Maybe if it works, that could be my little giveaway for Halloween, because I usually give something away around the fall time. So if I make a little pretty vase with some other ribbons and stuff, and maybe some roses, I still have some paper roses, I can spray paint them black too, or Right now, I think I had painted them pink for some other projects, like a dusty pink. So maybe the pink and black would look pretty, although for fall it really should be orange and black. But we'll see. We'll see about all of that. But I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to go live more now that it's the summer and I'm a little bit more relaxed. Like the last couple of months last year, I wasn't really doing anything down here except for when you saw me with the Gothic cradle. I've been a little bit behind on my crafting, so my craft table over there, even oh yeah, it is over there for you, but never mind. We're not going to start that again. Um, I haven't done a lot of work and I'm getting backed up because I have a lot of ideas and I've just been piling them at the table. I'm also going to try to accomplish, I have some beeswax that I've had for a really long time. I used to make candles and Barbara and I had been talking about because her husband has bees and we were just talking about that and it sort of sparked my interest in trying to finish up the wax that I have so I can make some more candles for myself. Test it on little jars with scraps. Christine, that's a great idea. And Joanne, yeah, I hope that it works. Okay, okay, Martha, that would be nice. Yes, maybe we can do some shows together. That would be nice. But this, like with something like this, that's why I just wanted to do it on my own because I get sometimes, you see how distracted I am. When even I'm here by my own, I squirrel a lot. All right. Well, I'm so glad I was able to go live and that you people all came in. I'm so, we were talking about our community and we really do have a wonderful community. So until I see you again, ladies, and I wish you all well. And maybe Martha will go live soon or whatever. Oh, okay. Megan's coming down. You're not coming over? No? Okay. All right. So I'm going to get going. I'm going to have my food that Megan took a bite of. I wish you all well. Be safe in the oncoming storm. Thank you for all coming in. And thank you, Martha. I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.